I want to make sure that the configuration is perfect. Okay, my screen is also visible, I guess. Okay, then let's get started. Yesterday, I have just introduced about the nested for loops. So let us do a small recap. So there is nothing to do a recap here because it was a very straightforward theory. A for loop within a for loop is called as a nested for loop, right? This is the syntax of nested for loop. So this is outer for loop, and this is the inner for loop, right? And we have discussed some problems by using the nested for loops. Today, I am going to introduce the concept called patterns, Java patterns, not design patterns, Java patterns using for loops. Right. So before even understanding about the patterns, the importance of patterns is like, so see guys, you don't get any interview questions. I mean, you may get interview questions. They will be asked you to solve some problems to generate some Java pattern. So this is a typical example of a Java pattern. Okay. So this is the typical example. Okay. These are called the pattern programs, right? These are called as the star pattern, right? So this pattern says that this is one of the triangles, right? Triangles in the increasing order, increasing triangle, right? We don't use this kind of output in the console in the real-time applications. We don't really use this, but the importance of understanding the pattern programming is that it is going to improve your coding skills first of all, right? We learn this to improve our coding skills, right? It is not like we are going to build an application by using Java patterns. No, that is not the case. But we used to learn this to develop our coding skills and to develop our logical skills, I can say, right? And also, these skills are important, to understand the looping concepts, right? Only to achieve all these three things, we study a lot about the working of Java looping patterns, right? Sometimes, not sometimes, one in every 10 interviews, you may face this kind of questions. They will ask you to design a pattern program which has to generate an output like a square pattern or a triangle pattern or a pyramid pattern, right? Or a diamond pattern, right? So the idea here is how to design a program to print this in the console. I mean, to print this specific pattern in the console. That is an idea. So this is representing a kind of, it is called as a star pattern, right? And apart from the star pattern, they will also ask you to design a program to print a number pattern in the console. This is how the number pattern looks like, right? The third one is the character pattern. This is how the character pattern is going to look like, right? So there are three types of patterns. One is star pattern, right? If you understand star pattern, then these are nothing guys, right? We will learn everything on top of star pattern, right? So we will just try to substitute the star pattern into the number pattern and substitute the number pattern into the character pattern, as simple as it. Okay, we have star pattern, we have number pattern, and the third one we have what, character pattern, right? So I can include this in the theory. It says Java programming patterns are used to enhance the coding skills, logical skills, and also to improve the looping concepts. right? And please be informed that you really don't develop any applications, or I can say that you really don't include any kind of programming patterns in the applications, the Java applications, any applications. Okay? We just use it to enhance our coding skills, as simple as that. The more you work on Java patterns, the more knowledge, the more intuition you will develop on writing a Java program, or developing a Java code, right? Or developing a Java algorithm, right? So this is very important, right? Try to pay some attention here. So these are the three patterns: star pattern, number pattern, and a character pattern, right? To understand Java patterns, we must also understand, to understand Java pattern, we must understand some other thing. Now it looks very simple. So what is the difference between, what is the difference between system dot out dot println hello, right, and system dot out dot println? What is the difference between these two? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between these two? Right? Don't say that here ln is missing and here ln is present. Do you know the real difference between system dot out dot println, and there is a value, there's a string value here, and here also we have the same string value. But what is the real difference between these two statements? Any idea? Anyone? Okay, Chaitanya says println. Okay, let us understand this through the program. Right? Very easy, guys. To understand Java patterns, you must also understand the difference between these two println statements. Okay, let me take this. Just imagine that if I'm not using the ln, just an imagination, I'm just using system.out.print hello, system.out.print hello. Okay, so if I run this program, Java C space test start Java space test. See, I think you are able to see the output. If you look at the output, right, the output in the console and the values are being printed in the same line. This is the value in the first println statement, and this is the value in the second println statement. The values are being printed in the same line. No new line is not getting created. Right? You're not using ln, it means new line is not getting created. Right? Let us say that I am using ln here. The first line I am using ln, right? In the second line, okay, let us keep it like that. Right? If I run this, compilation is successful, and you can see hello, and the next hello is getting printed in the next line. It means an enter key is getting added inside. In the back end, an enter key is being added, right? After printing this value in the back end, there is a kind of concept. I mean, we don't see that really. Compiler, JVM is going to add a enter key, right? And the next statement will be printed here in the next line, right? And if you ask me about the point of the cursor or the placeholder of the cursor, right? So after printing first hello and the second hello, the cursor is going to be placed here itself, next to the hello it will be, because in the second println statement we are not using ln. If you are using ln, then the cursor will be moved to the next line. If you are not using ln, the cursor will be placed in the same line. What is the proof for that? Let me do this. So can you tell me what will be the output for this, so that I can understand how much you have understood? Yes, Jyoti, you are right. I missed your statement. Yes, you are right. Can you guess the output for this? Come on, everyone. Jyoti, yes, Jyoti and Shweta, Chaitanya, Shashwant, Samyukta. Shashwant says, hello, hello. Okay, hello, hello, hello. That's okay. That's correct. I want the order. How this output in the console will be organized. There are three yellows. Okay, is it going to print in the horizontal order? That's my question. Okay. Okay, okay. This answer is making sense. Shashwant, that's correct. Okay. Let me run this. Compilation is successful. So one allow followed by two allows. So it is one allow followed by two allows. Just said the answer is making sense. I did not say the answer was correct. Everyone, can you do you agree with this? You want me to explain this? Very simple. Let me go to the paint screen. So this is the code, right? Let us talk about the first line, right? Allow will be printed, right? Allow will be printed. Okay, so it is system.out.println, print and go to the new line. Ln means go to the new line, go to the next line, right? That's why allow will be printed and it will go to the next line, right? And again the second statement says, second line, the second statement says, what does the second statement says? It is again a print statement, but this time it is a print statement, non println, right? Allow will be printed, but it will not be moved to the next line. The cursor will be placed on the same line itself, right? Again the third line, this time allow will be printed, right? And it is a println statement. The cursor will be moving to the next line, but we don't see that in the console. Okay, here we are seeing that as well. See, one space is left. Making sense, everyone? Sir, why we are discussing all this? Because this understanding is required for us to understand the Java patterns. Making sense, everyone? Chaitanya, Shashwant, Jyoti, yes, right? Okay, okay, good. Okay, now my I have a requirement, right? My requirement is I want to print a star pattern, horizontal star pattern. I want to print a star pattern like this, right? If I want to write a program, the program should be in such a way that after compiling and after the execution, the output should look like this, a horizontal star pattern, right? I can achieve this in two ways, guys, right? The naive approach is the hard coded approach, system.out.print, right? So what is the question? This should be my answer. Continuous stars. This should be my answer. If I want to achieve this, right, I can just use one star here, right? So this is the worst way of achieving this. This is not a good way at all. If I run this, okay, we get the answer, no issues. So we have achieved that, but we want to achieve this by using for loop, right? We want to achieve this by using for loop. Okay, without using for loop, is there any other way to achieve this? Yes, there is another way. I can do like this, right? System.out.print, right? I can keep adding the extra print statements just like this, right? Again, the output is going to be in the form of horizontal star pattern. Yes or no, everyone? Are you getting this? If I see, a number of lines are getting increased, guys, right? But it is also not a good approach. Yes or no? Yeah, this is also this is also an approach, but which is not recommended at all, right? If you do this in the interview room, okay, so they will ensure that you are not good at the programming skills. Okay, compilation is successful and execution is the horizontal star pattern. We are achieving this, right? Okay, If I want to achieve the same concept by using for loop, I can see now I have wasted how many lines, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 lines I have wasted, right? I can remove all the remaining 9 lines, right? I can simply use a for loop. Integer I equal to 1. This is called as the initial condition I equal to 1, right? I is lesser than or equal to 10, I plus plus, right? So I have achieved this in with only 3 lines. Making sense? This is also possible, but which one is highly recommended? This approach is highly recommended. Yes or no? Right? Now, what will be the value? What will be the output? Same output, right? Continuous stars in the form of what we call it as the horizontal star patterns. Yes, 10 stars. Yes, correct. Okay, but so let me run this. So we got the answer, no issues. But my requirement is now I want to achieve some other thing. Instead of horizontal star pattern, I want to achieve the vertical star pattern like this. Like this, just like this. What changes can I make here to achieve this? Can you answer me? I need to make one change in this program to achieve the vertical star pattern. What is that one change? Yes, adding a println. Yes, that's correct. Just by adding a println. Good. These are very easy things, but I'm increasing the complexity. Okay, you will understand that why we are discussing all this now. Okay. Right, to achieve the horizontal start pattern, if I add ln, right? We are going to achieve that. Okay, horizontal is also achieved, vertical star pattern is also achieved. Okay, but instead of using a star, if I use a character, right? So output is going to be the same pattern, but instead of the star will be replaced with a character. Yes or no? Yeah. Character pattern. For number pattern, what I can do, right? I can use I can use 1. So focus here. There is a big reason to discuss this. So 1, right? But if I want to achieve A, B, C, D, E, F, G, S, right? I want to achieve. I just do not want to print the value of A, but I want to achieve the output like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Any idea? Do you have any suggestions for me? I want to achieve the output like this. Do you have any suggestions for me? Anyone? Character. Okay, Chaitanya says instead of integer, use character. Okay, let us do that. So I have used integer here instead of integer. Okay. Chaitanya says to use character. Character I equal to A. Let us see whether it is going to work or not. It is not working because the typecasting is not happening yet. So what really we can do is, see, I have already introduced about the ASCII values. So ASCII values are like, for character A, the ASCII value is, for character A, the ASCII value is 65. Right? And it goes on. For character B, the ASCII value is 66. And it keeps going on. Right? By using this ASCII values, I can achieve I can achieve the concept of, achieve the output which I have just mentioned, right? So how do I really achieve this? That is the actual question, right? ASCII value is, I can say integer I equal to 65, I is lesser than or equal to let us say 75, I plus plus, right? So this character, this integer has to be typecasted, converting integer data type to the character data type. We need to typecast this integer data type to the to what? To the character data type. So this is the typecasting. I hope you know this. We have already discussed about the typecasting in Java in our previous classes. Exactly in 10 classes before, I think. We have completed the concept of Java typecasting. See, are able to see the output A, B, C, D, F, G, Z. Yes, I mean, you can achieve like this also, Chaitanya, no issues. It's also possible, but I'm keeping the concept short and clear. Firstly, use the integer itself, integer I equal to 65, because the ASCII value of 65, if you are converting 65 to the character, if you are typecasting 65 to the character, 65 will be converted directly to the character A. So 65 number is reserved for character A, right? And 66 is reserved for character B, and 67, like that it keeps going, right? Even though I am using the integer here, but I want to see the output in the form of characters. If you want to achieve that, I can do only one thing. I can do the typecasting. I am getting here as an integer, but I want to convert this integer to the character, right? Here the value I is being substituted to 65, guys. If I convert 65 to character, the equivalent ASCII value of 65 is A itself, right? So next, in the next iteration, the 65 will become 66. Equivalent ASCII value of 66 is B, 67, C, 68, D. Like that, it keeps iterating till 75. Yes or no? Right? The ASCII value for 75 is what we have just got, K. We can do this. We can achieve like this. Making sense, everyone? Everyone? Chaitanya, Jyoti N, Jyoti S, Samyukta, and what about Shashwant? Okay. Okay. So if I want to achieve the character pattern in the horizontal line, just removing this line will get us to achieve that, yes or no? Just remove the ln and Java C space test.java A B C D F G I K. Right now we understood one thing, right? We got to know how to achieve the star pattern in the horizontal star pattern. We got to know how to achieve the horizontal star pattern, how to achieve the vertical star pattern. Yes or no? Right? We got to know horizontal star pattern, vertical star pattern. At the same time, we have also substituted the character star pattern and the numerical star pattern. Right? Now, my question is, I want to achieve the square star pattern. I want to achieve what? I want to achieve square star pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, this is a square star pattern. My output should be like this. I need to write a program in such a way that after compilation and execution, I need to see this star pattern, this square star pattern in the console. Okay. Can you try, or you want me to try? Tell me. Can you try this, or you want me to try? Everyone, make it fast. Make it fast. We need to discuss a lot of problems regarding the star patterns. You want me to try, or you will try this? Hello, Jyoti N, Jyoti S. Answers: Shashwant, Samyukta, Chaitanya. Am I audible? Okay, you want me to try or you will try this? I'm asking. Yes, sir means, I mean, are you okay to try this or you want me to try? Okay. Okay. I just want to know, guys. I'm not. Please keep the session interactive. Okay, then I will understand whether you are listening or not. I want to ensure that my audio is not getting disconnected. Okay, that's why I'm asking you. Okay, let me try this. Okay, for integer I equal to 1, I is lesser than or equal to 5. Okay, so why I should write the program? Let me explain you. Actually, let me explain you the simple algorithm for this, right? So that writing the program will make more sense. Try to focus here. Pay some attention here. This is very important. This is very easy, but since we are listening this for the first time, I will be explaining you from the foundation level. Okay. For that, I need a kind of 1 minute. Okay. Okay. For focus here, guys. So let me take two cursors. This is the outer loop cursor, and this is the inner for loop cursor. This is the outer for loop cursor. This is the inner for loop cursor, right? So the program is going to be like, see, output should be like what? 5 stars, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 stars. So this is the pattern. This is the pattern that I want to display in the console, right? I have to take two for loops to achieve this. I want to take nested for loop to achieve this, because the outer for loop is used to add the new line. Let me write that here. I need to take two for loops, means nested for loops, to achieve this square star pattern. So one is the outer for loop. The outer for loop is used to add the new line. Second one, the inner for loop is used to print only the, now focus here, print only the horizontal star pattern. Horizontal star pattern. See, outer for loop is used to add only the single, and the inner for loop is used to print only the horizontal star pattern. Okay, so let me go back to the program. Again, we will come back here. You will understand. Okay, so let me take I is lesser than or 0, I is lesser than or equal to 5, and I plus plus, right? So this is the outer for loop, right? So let me take an inner for loop for integer j equal to 0. I cannot take I, because it is going to, if I take I, it is a kind of duplication, right? Right? J plus plus. Okay, outer for loop I have, inner for loop I have. Okay, so what I am saying is, this inner for loop is just used to, we are going to use the inner for loop to achieve what? To achieve the horizontal star pattern. To achieve the horizontal star pattern, we are going to use the inner for loop. That's what I said. The inner for loop is used to print only the horizontal star pattern. Okay, so let us do a small change here. Okay, this is the inner for loop, guys. This inner for loop. Over here, I am doing system dot out dot println. Okay, so here start. Right. Let us see what will happen if I run this. Okay, I'm just running this. What is going to happen? Let us see. I'm not going to use println here because I want to print only the horizontal star pattern. Okay. The compilation is successful. Okay. See? Are we printing the same problem? Okay. This is what happening. See? What is happening? 5 stars are printed. Okay. And again five horizontal stars are printed. Again 5 horizontal stars are printed. All the 5 horizontal stars are being printed in the same line. So this is our program. So now you listen here. Let me name this as I. This cursor is for I. Okay, this cursor is for J. This J cursor and this is I cursor, right? So firstly, if you see this program, I equal to 1, right? I equal to 1. So I cursor will be pointing to 1, right? When I cursor is pointing to 1, right? So conditional check will happen. What is the conditional check? I is lesser than or equal to 5. It means 1 is lesser than or equal to 5. Right? If you do the substitution after the conditional check, anyhow it is going to return true. If it is returning true, the control will be transferred to the inner for loop. And again in the inner for loop, the first expression is J equal to 0. Now J is coming into the picture. Right? J equal to 0. Did I say 0? Okay, J should be 1, guys. I'm sorry. J should be 1. So J equal to 1. You can keep 0, no problem, but for our understanding, I'm taking it as 1. Okay. So J will be pointing to 1. Right? Now what is happening here is J is pointing to 1. Again, there is a conditional check. What is the conditional check? 1 is lesser than or equal to 5. Anyhow, after substitution, this is going to be true itself. Right? From here, the control will be transferred to the block, inner block. Transfer to the block of the for loop. Right? Only one statement is there. Star has to be printed in the console. Of course, star will be printed in the console. Right? So this loop, don't you think that this loop will get iterate for 5 times, because starting boundary is 5, right? And J is lesser than or equal to 5, which means there are 5 true conditions here. It keeps getting iterated for 5 times because this will be evaluated to be true for the 5 times, right? So 5 stars will be printed, right, in the horizontal fashion. 5 stars will be printed in the horizontal fashion. If we go back to the diagram, right, first iteration for I equal to 1, for I equal to 1, 1 star will be printed, right, and again it will get iterated to 1 minute. Two, 1 star will be printed, 3, 4, 5. After 5, it will move out of the boundary, means it is a false condition. 1, 2, 5 are the true conditions. For all the true conditions, right, all the stars will be printed in the console, yes or no? Right? And the 6th condition, there is no 6th condition, because the 6th condition is found to be what? It is found to be false. Right? So again it will be resetted to again this is going to get resetted back to 1 itself. Right? Now the problem here is, you see this program, after the loop completion, right, the control will be transferred to back to here, right? Again it is going to be, for the second time it is going to be true, right? The outer loop second condition is true, right? But for the inner loop, again all these conditions needs to be satisfied, 5 conditions, right? So the 5 stars will be printed again. Likewise, for each and every true condition of the outer loop, right, 5 stars will be printed in the same line. third true condition, fourth true condition, 5 stars will be printed in the same line, and the fifth true condition, 5 stars will be printed in the same line. Right? To break this, I want to break this. My goal is that, right, 5 stars should be printed. The first horizontal 5 stars should be printed in the first line, right? And the second horizontal 5 stars should be printed in the next line. And the third horizontal 5 stars should be printed in the next line. So like this, I need to print. This is my expected output. I need to give an enter key. How I am supposed to give an enter key? That is the question, right? I need to give an enter key. So there are 2 additional stars. Okay, this is what I want to display in the console, right? To achieve this, what I can do is, for each and every, what we call it as, for each and every execution of the inner for loop, once the control is coming out of the inner for loop, I can add a println statement, system.out.println statement, right? So this println statement will take care of giving the new line, giving the enter key, right? Now this println statement will take care of giving the enter key. What does it mean actually? For the first iteration, for the inner loop first iteration, 5 stars will be printed in the console. After that, it is going to get a new line. Again, second iteration, 5 stars will be printed, new line. Third iteration, 5 stars will be printed, new line. Fourth iteration, 5 stars will be printed, new line. Likewise, it keeps printing until the condition is found to be true. Yes or no? Okay, run this. I have added an extra. Okay. The syntactical mistake not related to our program. Did I add any extra 1, 2? Okay, here this is missing. 1, 2. Okay. See, output is in the form of star pattern. Let me explain you this again. Let me go back to the paint screen. Okay, if you understand this only, you will be able to understand the remaining things. So this is our program, right? So let me bring that. Let me import that pattern here. Okay. Okay. So there are 2 cursors. One is I. This is I. Let me take this as I, and let me take this as J. This is cursor I. This is cursor J. Okay. For first condition, so the control, we know that already. This is how the control travels from expression 1 to expression 2. Will come inside the body of the outer for loop, and again it is finding inner for loop. This inner for loop will get executed as long as the condition is found to be true, right? Again, expression 1, expression 2, body of the for loop, right? This after completing this execution, it will come out of the for loop, inner for loop. Then this line will get executed. There is nothing to be printed, but one thing is happening inside. It is going to add a new line, next line, right? So again, the control will be going back to here, conditional check, increment, conditional check. Again, the same thing will repeat. Again, control will go back here, increment, addition. Again, same thing will repeat. Okay. Having said this, firstly, I is set to be 1. Right? When I is set to be 1, right? Inner for loop is like, it has to execute for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because 6th time the condition is going to be false. So for all the 5 executions, what happens? All the stars will be printed. Right? I am talking about this. Right? For all the 5 executions, all the stars will be printed in the console. Right? After printing the 5th star, it cannot print 6th star, because 6th star, it is going out of the boundary, because the condition says j is lesser than or equal to 5. Till 5 it will print. There is no scope for printing the 6th star, because the condition will be broken, right? The condition will remain false. So it will be reset back to somewhere here, right? So next iteration, I will become 2. I will become 2, right? Now J will start. J will be starting, right? So again, J should start from 1, 2, 3, 4 till 5. Stars will be printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After printing this, after completing each and every row, a new line is getting added. Right? A new line is getting added. Right? So second iteration for the inner loop is completed. It will come here. Now I becomes 3. Right? When I becomes 3, again J should start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 stars will be printed. Right? And J will go back to its place. Now J will get resetted. Right? And again I will become 4. I will be pointing to 4. In the fourth iteration, again this J has to printed for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For all the 5 times, 5 stars. Right? Reset back. Right? I becomes 5. When I becomes 5, again J should start from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? J will be resetted back. Right? I will become 6. But I cannot become 6 because the condition says only 5. I is lesser than or equal to 5. If I is becoming 6, what happens? This is going to be false. Right? This is found to be false. This is going to be false. If it is found to be false, the control will be transferred outside the outer for loop. Yes or no? So we see what? We see this in the console. We don't see these columns. So these are our imagination purpose. I have represented this in the form of table. Right? What we need to observe, forgot about this, but look at the pattern, star pattern. This is how it is getting printed. Right? This is what taking care of printing the horizontal star patterns. You must understand one thing. This line, this particular line is taking care of printing the horizontal star patterns. The inner for loop is taking care of printing the horizontal star pattern. The outer for loop, the statement, the system.outer println statement that is placed in the outer for loop is taking care of adding the new line. This is actually printing 5 stars. This is actually printing the new line, taking the control to the next line or taking the cursor to the next line. Again 5 stars will be printed, take the control to the next line. 5 star will be printed, take the control to the next line. Making sense, everyone? Hello? What about others? Joshua? Dorothy? Good. Okay. So by this we can. Okay. Good. Okay. So if you see here I am using I equal to 5. Here also I am using I equal to 5. If I want to expand this square star pattern, I can do one thing. I can take an variable, a common variable outside. Size I can say. Right? So I can store the value 5 in this size. I can use this variable here. Yes or no? I can use this variable here. So what is the advantage of doing this? I will tell you. Right? So if there was 5 here, there was another 5 here. Instead of using the direct value, right, I am storing that 5 in a variable called size. Right? If I run this, I will get 5 into 5 square star pattern. If I run this, this is 5 into 5 square star pattern. So, 5 rows and 5 columns. Right? If I want to expand this to 50, are you getting this? 50 into 50 square star pattern. So I can increase the size of the square star pattern. If I do this, right, I can just change the value of the size, and the size is again being represented for the I variable as for the J variable for the conditional check. Yes or no? I am setting up the boundary here. Making sense? Everyone? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, okay, okay. So now you observe one thing, right? So let me keep it as 30. So if they are asking you, hey guys, can you print a square star pattern of size 30? What does it mean is size 30 means 30 into 30, 30 rows and 30 columns. But if they are asking you to print the number numerical star pattern, what changes that you can make here? If they are asking you to print the numerical star pattern, what changes that you can make here? Instead of star, what I can use here? You have to make change only in one place. Here I need to make change because if I use star, star will be the output. If I use ampersand symbol, right? If I use ampersand symbol will be the output. If I use what? Let us say if I use uh, plus symbol, or let us use dollar symbol. I don't think I can. Okay, dollar symbol is sir. If I use dollar symbol, dollars will be in the output. But if I want to represent this in the form of numerical values, what changes that I can make here? Can you answer me? I want to print numbers from 1 to 30 in the horizontal order as well as in the vertical order. What changes that I can make here? I don't think I hope you have understood my question. If the size is 5, okay, my output should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Okay, now my size is 5. I need to make a small change here. What is that small change I am asking you? Are you getting my question? Not getting my question? You have to say something, guys. Yes or no? Anything you have to say, you cannot keep silent. Okay, you need to speak out, or else variables. Okay, okay. Very simple, guys. Okay, if I use I itself, the problem is solved now. If I use I, the problem is solved. If I run this, of course, it will not work for a large pattern. Let me keep till 9. If I use I, the problem is solved. One 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 two 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 three 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 four 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 five 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 six, because they will not ask you to print numbers more than 9. So this is how you can represent numbers. Just I'm using I here, as simple as that. Making sense? Instead of star, previously it was star. So the horizontal pattern is represented in the form of stars, and the vertical pattern is also star. Instead of using star, I'm using I itself. Right? For the first iteration, the value of I is 1. For the second iteration, the value of I is 2. Third iteration, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like this, 9 set of this sequence will be printed. Yes or no? Everyone? Hello? Type something. Chaitanya, Samyukta, Shashwan, Jyoti S, Jyoti N. Okay. If I want to print an alphabetical pattern, okay, I can just add A here. Adding A here, what happens? This is just a square pattern, guys. We will be discussing a lot of 1 minute. I should add that in the double quotations because it's a string, right? A. If you want to print in the form of B, D. But if you want to print like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you want to print like this, what changes I need to make here? Okay, what changes I need to make here to print to represent the output in the form of A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Any idea? remove print element. No, no, no. I'm asking. I want to print the output in this order. A B C D E F G. Again A B C D E F G. Like this. Like this. I want to print. Do you have any input from your side? Okay, I will tell you this. So, in order to make this work out, right? Do you think this will give the output? This is not the right way to do that. So there is another way to do this. Okay, since we are trying to understand the patterns for the first time, okay, this concept is being introduced, but definitely this is not the right way to do this. Okay, but tell me, can we get the output which I was expecting, which I was asking you with this? Yeah, yeah, Jyoti, yes, you are correct, Jyoti, yes, correct, yes. Chaitanya says no, sir. Sashwan says yes. What about others? Okay, I will explain you guys this one. A, C, 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 D, 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 D. But my output should be Chaitanya. Yes, you are right. So this is an output, but I'm not expecting this kind of output. I'm expecting an output in such a way that okay, this is output. This is a valid output for this we are getting. But I should be expecting an output like in this order. Yes. Like that I'm expecting output in this order. Okay, so we will understand this further. For that I need to introduce one more topic. Okay, for the time being we got to know how to print the square star pattern. Okay, for the time being we got to know how to print the square star pattern. We still typing. Chaitanya is still typing. Let's wait for Chaitanya to conclude this typing. Okay, okay, now let us go back to the previous problem. So I hope you guys will able to do this, right? If anyone is asking you to print the square star pattern, I think you can achieve that. Okay, my next problem is I want to print the rectangular star pattern. What I want to print? I want to print what? I want to print the rectangular star pattern, right? Not the square this time. This time it's a rectangular, right? So if I talk about the rectangular square pattern, right, it is just like the star, I mean square star pattern, but the change will be with the columns. So here the outer row, if I count the outer row with if I the initial boundary is 1, right? If I keep extending the boundary till 10 and inner loop 5, outer loop is running from 1 to 10, inner loop is running from 1 to 5. Okay, star is being printed. Okay, if I run this is going to give us a rectangular star pattern, but this is how it looks like. This is one way of representing a rectangular star pattern. Rectangular is very simple, length and the breadth. In this case, breadth is, I mean, but if you see the length and breadth, it is in a different order, right? If I decrease this, And if I decrease this, increase the size of j, if I decrease the boundary, not the size, if I increase the boundary of j and if I decrease the boundary of I, right? So this is going to give what? This is going to give a rectangle star pattern, but in a different way, right? This is also rectangle star pattern. Okay. So if you count the rows, if you count the rows, 5 rows, and there are 9 to 10 columns. If you count here we have 10 rows and 5 columns. Both are rectangle star pattern only, right? So for to achieve square star pattern, same values you have to take. To achieve the rectangular star pattern, there are two ways, right? The first boundary and the second boundary. Making sense? So we have achieved square star pattern and we have also achieved rectangular star pattern. Okay. Now next thing we need to achieve what? We need to achieve this. Which one? If you are getting kicked out of the meeting, try to rejoin it. Okay. I will be waiting in the lobby. Don't assume that the classes are over. I want to print this. A triangular star pattern. Any idea? I need to make a change here. I want to print this. Can anyone help me to achieve this? Or you want me to solve this pattern? Yes, no? Guys, everyone keep the session interactive. You want me to try or you will try and you will give me the answer? I want to achieve this in the output. I want to display this in the console. What changes that I can make here to achieve this? What changes that I can make here to achieve this? Any answers? We're still typing. No need of inner loop, I guess. Let's see. Okay, let me explain this for you. Okay, I will explain this for you. Meanwhile, the other people will join. Okay, let me take this to the paint screen. Okay, this is our paint screen. Okay. OTS is waiting in the lobby. Okay. Okay, this is the paint screen. Okay, let me take that particular pattern table for the better understanding. Okay. So now you tell me, I want to achieve this, right? I want to achieve this pattern, a triangular pattern, in the increasing order, right? What does it really mean? Okay, there will be two pointers, right? Pointer I will be there, and pointer j will be there, right? So pointer I is representing the outer for loop. Pointer I is representing the outer for loop. Pointer I has nothing to do with printing anything. It will not print anything. The pointer I is going to add a new line. Yes or no? Do you agree with this? Pointer I, the outer for loop, as a statement. Okay, it is just going to add a new line. Yes or no? Everyone, do you agree with this? Just one. Let's see. Just one. Yeah. Thank you for. Let's see. Thank you for your answer. We will try to analyze this. Okay. Do you agree this outer for loop as a println statement? Okay. This has nothing to print anything in the console. What it does, for each and every iteration, it is going to move to the next line. Yes or no? Pointer I. Write something, guys. Okay. So this is I pointer. Okay, this is what? This is J pointer. Okay. So when I is pointing, when I is set to be 1, right? Boundary is starting from 1. Why 1? 1 is lesser than or equal to 5, right? So it will start from 1, it will start 2, 3, like this it will go, right? Once it is pointing towards 1, okay, J will come into picture because J is the inner for loop, right? What does it mean? When I is pointing to 1, J will come into the picture, right? J will also be pointing to 1. But I need to make a restriction. What kind of restriction that I need to make? I need to make a restriction like this J pointer has to print only one star. It has to print only one star, and it has to go back to and it should be resetted. Print one star and reset it, right? And again I should come into picture. It should be pointing to the number 2, second iteration. When second iteration comes, J should again start from 1, and this time it should also count 2. The second iteration, J should start from 1 and should end at 2, right? In the second iteration, it should be like star star. After printing these two, J should be resetted back, and again I should be incremented to 3. When I is incremented to 3, again J should start from 1. This time it should iterate only till 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right? Now fourth iteration. When I is pointing to 4, J should consider printing star only for these 4 boxes, first 4. Right? After printing this, I will be printing 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should be reset back. When I is 5, right? J should be consider printing star like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? When I is 6, the loop will be broken. Now the relation is very simple here, guys. If you see the relation, when I is pointing to 1, right, J is considering only one inner loop. When I is pointing towards 2, right, J is considering to print till 2, 1, 2. When I is pointing towards 3, J is considering 1, 2, 3. For 4, J is considering 1, 2, 3, 4. For 5, J is considering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The relation is very simple. I can say that J equal to I, right? Right? I can say that J equal to, I can keep J equal to I. Right? If I is 1, J will iterate till 1. If I is 2, right, J will iterate till 2. If I is 3, J will iterate till 1, 2, 3. If I is 4, J will iterate till 1, 2, 3, 4. If I is 5, till J will iterate. The number of iterations of J depends upon the value that I is pointing. Yes or no? So in this logic, I can say that J is lesser than or equal. Instead of J is lesser than or equal to 5, I can write a formula by saying that J is lesser than or equal to I. This is the formula that I can arrive, right? Yes? No? If I do this, let me remove this. J is lesser than or equal to I. Only this change I am doing, because we have created a formula. See? Making sense? Everyone? Hello? Yes, no? Chaitanya, Jyoti N, Jyoti S, Samyukta, Shashwat, Veta. If you want me to repeat this once again, I will repeat this, but this is very, very important. we need to understand the relationship between I and J. After understanding the relationship between I and J, we'll come to conclusion that, what changes that we can make here to achieve this star pattern. Making sense? Just one making sense for you? You want me to repeat it once again? Everyone, please feel free to ask. If you want any repetition, I will repeat. Okay, Shashwant is asking to repeat. Everyone listen here once again. Shashwant, do not want me to repeat? What about Jyoti? You want me to repeat? Good, Shashwant. Okay, this is the typical star pattern. So the relationship is very simple, right? This all about the pointers concept. The moment I is pointing to 1, okay, so J should execute only once. Star will be printed only once. The moment I is pointing to the number 2, okay, J should print from 1, 2. The moment I points to 3, J should print from 1, 2, 3. The moment I is pointing to 4, J should start printing from 1, 2, 3, 4. The moment I start pointing towards 5, J should start printing from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The moment I is pointing towards 6, it means condition is false. Okay, the control will be kicked out of the outer for loop. Right? Okay. So if I place a number here, if I just instead of star, if I use I itself, okay, this is how the output looks like. The same star pattern, guys. They want you to, if the interviewer is asking you to print the numerical pattern, numerical increasing order triangle star pattern, I mean triangle numerical pattern. This is how it is: 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Right? Okay. Now you tell me what could be the output for this. So now please understand one thing. So these two statements, especially these two, understanding these two system dot out of print statement and println statements. Okay, these statements are making a big difference in printing the output in such a way that it is representing a pattern. Okay, if you are not utilizing this println, okay, you don't get that output. This is making a because of using println. Okay, the cursor is pointing towards the next line. The cursor is moving towards the next line, or else the cursor will remain in the same line. Making sense? Now you tell me the answer. So this is a branching statement break. Okay, break. Okay, I am just making you to get acquainted with this break branching statement, because we will be using this break statement going forward. Everywhere we will be using this break statement. Okay, having said this, even I have explained about this break statement yesterday. Okay, can you just tell me the output for this? Just try to think about the control flow and tell me. Try to think about the control flow and tell me what is the possible output for this. Think and tell me. Okay, it is not about the patterns, it is all about the output. What output we are going to get because of adding this break keyword inside the inner for loop and outside the inner for loop, outside the outer for loop. Got my question, everyone? Samita, Shashwant, Sweta, Chaitanya, Jyoti, yes. Yeah. Just think the flow. First the control will be here, then it will come inside. Okay, two things will be considered, then it will come inside. Value of what is it? What did I say? Value of I will be printed. Break means kicking out, and a new line will be created. Break, kicking out. What is the answer? I have already said the answer. What is the answer? Are you typing or not? Chaitanya, Sveta, Samyukta, Saswa, Jyoti, yes, Jyoti, and Jyoti, yes, has been typing for a long time, but no answer. Jyoti and I. Okay, let me run this. Only one will be the answer. Why I? Why are you getting confused? I don't understand. So this is a problem statement, right? So if you imagine, you will not get anything else. You don't do imagination. If you have pen and paper, just try to trace it out like the way I am doing. If you do the imagination, it will be in the imagination only. You will not get anything, right? I equal to 1, right? So value of the I will be, value 1 will be assigned to the variable I. Okay, and the conditional check, I is lesser than or equal to 5. So 1 is lesser than or equal to 5. It is true. So, okay, control will come inside. Control will be transferred inside. J equal to 1. J is lesser than or equal to I. It means J equal to 1. J is lesser than or equal to I. Okay, it means J is lesser than or equal to I. Conditional check. Value of J is 1 and value of I is also 1. So 1 is lesser than or equal to 1, right? It is going to return true only. If it is true, the control will jump inside the inner for loop. I will be printed. What is the value? Latest value of I? 1 itself. Right? This 1 will be printed in the console. The console 1 will be printed. After this, it is encountering a break statement. Break statement which it will be, the control will be transferred, kicked out of the inner for loop. So control will come here. Right? It is printing a new line. Right? After one, new line cursor will be placed in the new line. Then it is encountering the break statement. Okay, it will also be kicked out of the outer for loop. The control will come here. After this, there are no statements to be executed. The thread will be terminated. Only one will be displayed in the output. Making sense? Yashwant, Samikta, Jyotian, right? If you are not thinking like this, it will be very easy. It will be very difficult for you to grasp. Don't ever do the imagination. There will be days where you can solve this with the imagination, but for now, this is how we need to solve this. If you have pen and paper, you need to depend on pen and paper. You should not depend on imagination. Imagination will work after solving 50 to 100 problems like this, then imagination will work. Till that, imagination will not work. We will be learning how to deal with the controls. Okay, this is the control. Okay, so all this course in the Java OOPS everywhere, we will be learning only two things. We will be learning the memory allocation, how the memory is getting allocated, how the control is being flown, how the memory is being allocated. Okay, how the control is being flown. Being flown inside the Java. Right? So this break statement is just like a breaking, right? It's just like a speed breaker. We have statements like return statements. We have statements like continue statement. These are the branching statements. The statements are very important. When you see this, it means the control will be kicked out. As simple as that. Right? We will solve a lot of problems till 15th of March or 16th of March. After completing these fundamentals, we will start focusing on OOPS concepts, object oriented programming concept. Okay, I want you all to do a lot of practice, or else Java will not make any sense. Java is very easy, I guarantee you that, unless and until you practice. If you don't practice, it will look like very difficult. And after the Java classes, I will also be like, even I am planning to start this Python classes. I will let you know. Thank you, guys.